Hello and welcome to Radically Aligned. Oh, I'm so excited to have you on this journey with me. My name's Vicki Chisholm. I'm going to be your host. We're going to be exploring all things alignment in business and in your soul. We're going to be bringing together some amazing episodes to help you cultivate the alignment that works for you so you can have soul-aligned business success. But more importantly, we're also going to be bringing in guests for interviews so you can learn not just from me, but from experts all over the world. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Radically Aligned podcast. Today, we're going to explore a little bit more about being able to commit to the success that you desire. Because let's face it, staying committed is often a challenge because you have your mind to fight with, you have external pressures to fight with, and keeping consistent can be a struggle. There are lots of different factors within it. There are lots of different things to consider. But I want to kickstart your journey with commitment to unpicking resistance. Okay, so when you are looking to commit to your success, we have to look at the things that are going to block you, the things that are going to be obstacles, challenges. Because when you raise awareness to what those things are, you reclaim your power. When you reclaim your power, you can overcome those obstacles, you can overcome those hurdles, and you can thrive in your business. And that's what we want. What we want to see is you actually leaning in to creating the magnetic change that you're looking for, okay? Without the stereotypical bullshit that goes with it, right? So we want you to be able to really connect with who you are, where you're going, what you want to do, how you want to achieve it, how you want to succeed, but more importantly, how easy you want this to be. Because it gets to be easy. It gets to be easier than you ever imagined it to be. But we've got to do the personal development work as well as the commitment to those goals that you're choosing to set for yourself, okay? Now, of course, it could be, personal development is a huge part of business development. You cannot grow your business if you're not allowing yourself to grow personally. It's always a journey. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. It is going to bring up challenges. It is going to bring up insecurities, but it's also going to bring some really fucking big wins and some huge successes. And you are going to achieve things that you once thought were impossible. So we've got to keep you on track, okay? One of the things that I see a lot is clients will come in and they'll tell me that they want these things. I want to achieve this and I want to do that and I want to have this and I want to create that and I want this and I want and I want and I want. And I hear it and I feel the passion inside it. But then after a few steps, they come to a freeze and a halt. And I'm like, why? Why have we frozen? What's going on? And they'll let the small things hold them back. The small things such as technology, limiting beliefs, shiny object syndrome. And the focus just goes. It disintegrates. And then you're back to square one every single month, still fighting for the same goals, but still struggling to achieve them. So we have to get you into a space where you go, do you know what? I'm absolutely fucking done with this shit. I'm not going to be a victim to these challenges anymore. I'm going to overcome the resistance and I'm going to face it. And this is where you get to be the most magnetic version of you. This is where you get to be the most empowered version of you ever. Because you're suddenly going to put a different hat on. And that hat is going to be your CEO hat, the business leader hat, not the employee hat that, you go and do a job and if you can't be bothered that day, you just kind of muck it through and don't worry, tomorrow is another day. Because running a business is not the same as being an employee, okay? So you have to take a step back and you have to lean in. So lean into the challenges. Because they're there to teach you something. They're there to help you elevate. You can't elevate and grow if you're staying over here. So we've got to move you. So I say, let's do it together. So what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking about the success that you've been trying to achieve. Okay. Now, some people will go out into the world, they'll set a goal and they will achieve that goal by a click of the fingers. But there will be other goals that they're not able to achieve in the same way. And they can't understand why or how. But there just seems to be this thing that says that one thing that you want, you cannot bloody well have. And there are two common denominators here that I see a lot, especially with heart-centered business owners. One of them is money and the other one is love. The problem with these two things is they're both connected. Both connected. When you lean into self-love, when you lean into confidence, when you lean into leadership, when you lean into being the CEO, you're no longer struggling with those two things because you're leveling up and you're being something else. So if you've bought my book, The Radically Aligned, you will know that there is something that I always speak about that will help you shift from where you are to where you want to be. I'm not talking quantum leaps. I'm not talking alien galactic mind-blowing information. What I'm talking about is very basic things. And there is something that I share, and it's called resistance versus misalignment. Okay? When you are in a state of resistance, your brain will constantly be feeding you stories of fear. Not good enough, imposter syndrome, lack of confidence, lack of self-belief, your mood plummets, you stop showing up in the same way, and the fear begins to rule the roost. And then you're stuck, unable to move forward. So my role is to help you understand what that resistance is so that you can commit to the bigger things that you want to commit to. But you can't commit if you're feeding resistance and fear. So how do we shift that? How do we shift the resistance to be able to enable you to commit to the success you desire? How can we do this? It's a question I hear a lot too. You probably heard of the hamster wheel. You get on the hamster wheel and you're working really hard and furiously and you're running and running and running around this hamster wheel. You're like, I am going to get off this wheel soon. I am. I've just got to keep going, and boom! You haven't just come off the hamster wheel. You've flown off of it. And now you're in a heap on the floor in complete burnout because instead of dealing with the information that you have inside of your heart and your brain and your body, you've gone to the external, you've looked for the external validation, you've signed up for another course, you've signed up for another coach, you've signed up for a different mentor, you've signed up for all those things that are not bringing you into the passion of who you are. Because what has happened is the fear has made you believe you need to look outside yourself. And that fear is the resistance that's keeping you stuck from not receiving and having all the things that you do want and desire, especially in your business. So we understand resistance, which is fear, disempowerment, but let's have a look now at misalignment. Because I hear it and I see it a lot online where people say, oh, it's just not meant to be, and oh, I'm just misaligned from this situation. It doesn't feel good. Well, I'm here to tell you that every time you spin those lines, the only person you're really hurting is yourself. Because resistance is keeping you from discovering the truth. The easy way to know if you're misaligned is by feeling that something is missing. You're not afraid. You're not stuck. You're not stagnant. You're not disempowered. You haven't got all those freaking stories going through your mind to tell you that you can't, you won't, this is shit, what are you playing at? It will be different. It will just be a knowing and a feeling that something isn't quite right. You haven't quite hit the nail on the head. You haven't quite reached the point where you wanted to reach. Like, you just feel it. You feel this inner knowing that something isn't quite there yet because you've got a piece of the jigsaw puzzle which is missing, right? So I want you to take a moment and I want you to reflect on the bigger goal that you want to achieve. And I want you to be really honest with yourself and ask this question: am I in misalignment, or am I resisting my success? When you tune into the truth of your own heart here, you reclaim your power, because knowledge is power. When you have the knowledge and the understanding of what you are experiencing, you then have the power to go and create and commit to the success that you deserve. So unfortunately, the commitment part is a personal development part, okay? Yes, there is clarity that you need to have. Yes, there is a plan, a structure, a strategy, but ultimately it's going to come to the action. It's not a case of writing in your journal every day 3,000 times, I'm going to achieve this, or I'm grateful for receiving this. No, it's different. You lean in and you trust. And you know that what you want is already yours. So let's open this up a little bit more, right? You may have now the understanding that maybe you've been in resistance rather than being in misalignment. And maybe that's what's been hindering your success to commitment. But there is a lot more to that as well. One of my clients said to me, Vicki, what was your most powerful manifestation ever? And I was like, well, my most powerful manifestation really was my motorbike, the whole journey of it, because I literally had no idea how or what was going to happen, or even if I could do it. You know, I was recovering from chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, PTSD. I was recovering from, and it was complex PTSD as well, not just the baseline. It was, huge amounts of stuff to clear. I'd also given up my business. I was restructuring my life. Everything was different at that time. And I just said, I don't know how and I don't know when, but I am going to ride a motorbike. I didn't know how I was going to do it all financially at that time. And it was almost like a magic glove. All the pieces just came together completely unexpectedly. I was put in the right places at the right time. I was put in the right conversations at the right time. The universe aligned to me and what I desired. And what made that manifestation so powerful? I had no emotional outcome. I wasn't attached to the outcome, but I just knew I was going to do it. And that's the key of making a decision. When you go to make a decision, you have to make that decision wholeheartedly, without doubt, without fear, without rejection, without imposter syndrome. You just have to wholeheartedly know that you are committing to that decision. And it's like you come at it with unshakable conviction. I don't know how and I don't know when, but this is happening. The second you get into that energy, that mindset, you become a co-creator. And then you start taking action. You ever heard the term, well, you probably have actually, through this podcast series, marketing is manifesting. Because marketing is the action that enables you to manifest. But if you're not marketing, how are you manifesting? Because it's not going to drop out of the sky. There has to be action. You have to do something. So with the motorbike experience, I just kept doing all the things that I needed to do. It was the same when I relocated. I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I was going to move. I had no idea where I was going or what this move was going to look like. I just knew I had to move, I had to relocate. And the universe worked with me. And if anything, it gave me lots of signs and kicks up the arse to make me open my eyes and see the opportunities that were already being presented to me. But I wasn't open to listening to them at that point. I needed a wake-up call. So it gave them to me. It was like they were screaming at me. It's right there. It's right there. You've just got to reach out. Just reach out. And I was resisting reaching out because I thought, oh gosh, that's too far. I can't possibly move nearly 300 miles away on my own with my children. But I did because the universe worked with me. And it worked with me in the most magical way. But it all starts with commitment. You have to commit. You have to commit to your decision. You have to commit to your desire. You have to absolutely 110% fucking want this. Okay? So when it comes to growing your business and being aligned with your business, you have to feel it. You have to absolutely feel every single part of that. In all the ways. Then you get to shift. Then you get to step forward. Then you get to awaken. But the commitment part is personal development. Every time you make a decision in your business, you have to go through the process. So when I was in the early stages of the coaching and the energy shifting, what I realized was my own strategy. I learned my own key strategy of how to break through when I was feeling resistance, when I was feeling stuck, when I didn't know how to open my heart and mind to new opportunities. So I created the Adapt Breakthrough strategy, which is awareness, decision, ambition, purpose, and transformation. So you get to have the awareness of where you are and where you want to be. Then you move into the decision time. Am I ready to decide to create a different story, a different outcome? Or am I still being held back? With the awareness of what you want and the decision, if you can't make that decision, you go back to awareness and you start clearing that shit out until you are in a space where you're able to make confident, clear decisions that come at you with unshakable conviction. Nothing and no one is ever going to get in your way with what you truly want. So if what you're trying to bring into your business through goals, whether that be SMART goals, whether that be financial goals, whether that be business growth goals, whether it be visibility, PR, whether it be whatever, right? If you are not committed to those goals through your decision making, they will not happen. Okay? And that's the really shitty part of it. Because you go in and you give 110% and you still don't get the results that you're looking for because there is a part of you that's not ready to receive it yet. So that's where the work goes. Okay, once you have made a decision, you can then look at the ambition. What is it that I'm going to achieve by receiving and making this decision? Then you go into the purpose. Is it in alignment with my purpose? Yes, great. If it's not, what do I need to tweak to bring it into alignment with my core values, my purpose, my soul delivery of what I want to achieve? Then you can move into the transformation stage, which is the strategy, the energetics, the empowerment, the action, the focus. So you can steal my Adapt Breakthrough strategy, you can give it a go and you can dive in. But ultimately, committing to you, committing to what you want and committing to the journey ahead is what is going to keep your momentum alive. Because every time you go back and you look at what you're committing to, there's just going to be like this fire inside of you that says, no, we are not settling for anything less. We are 110% all in on this because it's going to have a bigger purpose. And it's okay for that to be a selfish purpose. Okay? So I've given you some nuggets today. I've given you something to help you commit to your success. I've given you opportunities which are thought-provoking to enable you to shift, whether that be shifting the energy, shifting the mindset, maybe even looking at the strategy that you've got. But you can only commit to your success when you are 110% decided that this is what you want. So go and take the time to do that. Take the time to lean in. And if you want more information, come on over and join us in the Radically Aligned membership. This is where you get all the juice, get access to me, and we do a lot of the Adapt Breakthrough strategy too. Okay, over and out. See you in the next episode. That's a wrap for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. All these episodes are created in line with my book, Radically Aligned. Go check it out on Amazon, grab a copy, and let's get you started. At the back of the book, they'll also find a QR code where you'll get access to some amazing resources. You don't want to miss it. See you in the next episode.